yeah.
How
Oh,
cute.
Yeah, he
yeah.
definitely needs his haircut though, so he's getting pretty long. Yeah, he's my buddy.
Nice. Much smaller than the other dogs you had.
Yeah, rather drastic comparison.
It's just a head.
Oh yeah, I love the mastiffs. They're so big for in the house sometimes that it's well, the one we did have one in here, but Parker, the one that's 12 or whatever, for whatever reason he's kind of skittish on, and I think the biggest one is when they're a puppy's going to do that, and one of them kind of bumped into him, and since then like he's like half afraid of them. So, but yeah, long story short, like they would be sitting there dreaming of one that we had. And it would like put its paw out like this, and it was like literally putting its paw through the wall and shit like that. So, I mean, they're huge. So,
and it's funny because big dogs don't get less scaredy because they're big. They're just like small dogs. They can be just as scared. Mine is 125 pounds, and she's a Scooby-Doo. Like she's afraid of new noises, people with hoodies on, just anything she doesn't recognize from her usual environment will scare the shit out of her. So
yeah, it's funny on that one too, because we've got a couple of them that are that way too. I mean, anything even remotely close, and they're like all hunched down and act like something's happened to them. It's like a grief.
It's like, act your weight, buddy.
Yep.
All right, I think we can get started now. And anyway, we're going to be recording, so we'll go ahead and throw it back into the different Telegram channels afterwards. So that's it. So I don't know if you wanted to start off with, I want to once again thank everyone in the community for the pre-sale that we had. I think that we've had a great success for the second one. Also, I mean, Bambi is just going up and up and up. We were almost at 900 Bries to one Bambi, and we started off at 625. So I mean, that's a substantial increase. And I mean, by the time Bry's price goes back up, I think we're going to be able to kill a zero just off that. So I'm really enthused about that.
I definitely agree on that too. And then also, I wanted to start up too and apologize again on the last one on that AMA. Like I said, I don't know what I was thinking of, but then when it showed up then on the UTC and it said Sunday, and my head was thinking, yeah, Sunday's great, except for I was thinking the time, but I wasn't thinking that Saturday, not Sunday. So either way, apologies for that. But yeah, that's kind of where I literally joined in. I was completely oblivious. I drive my wife crazy on that because I basically live in my own world. But either way, my apologies to the community on that one too. And kind of like what Alex said too, I think we definitely have gotten some momentum, and I certainly appreciate everybody in the community, working with us and believing in us. So I'm definitely looking forward to some of what we have coming up in the future.
Yep, and it's fun because I think we learned a lot too from that first pre-sale that we did, and things are better for it now. And I think that in the future too, it gave us some good indications of the different things that we can do to make them even better in the future. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, that second one I really tested pretty extensively on a pre-sale, but the one thing I didn't do was I didn't try to run another pre-sale of the same exact contract. So, but yeah, either way, I agree. There are definitely some areas in there that should have checked on that one, but yeah, either way, I felt kind of stupid on that one. But yeah, I agree. I think we certainly learned some from there, and I think we've already got some of the changes in place that should make it a lot smoother and a little easier.
Live and learn, right?
Yep. That one, like I said, I felt stupid because I spent a ton of time trying to really ensure we could do multiple pre-sales and trying to test everything. But yeah, like I said, I didn't think of, we might need to do the pre-sale of the same exact contract.
Yeah.
But,
and But I was telling this to Range, I'm really glad that we started off with Bambi because it's our project. And, we have the flexibility with ourselves to be able to manage anything that happens. So, and I think that it's going to be all the better for the projects that are going to be launching with our studio. Because I
Yeah,
think
and I
that,
mean, good.
yeah, no, that's it. I was just saying that, having a studio is important if you're actually doing more than just organizing a pre-sale, because I think that, pretty much anyone can do. But it's the way that we want to support the projects that is going to make us different, I think. So, I mean, I don't know if you wanted to elaborate on how we're going to be doing that in terms
Yeah.
of
So I mean,
communications, audit, stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, and I think you did a really good way of kind of describing that. I think anything that we're going to be adding in, we're going to be eating our own cookie, or however you say that. We're going to be making sure that we're the first ones that's testing on that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny too, because the original idea and why we tried to do this was, we thought that, we could maybe bring something to the table in terms of like a studio to make it easier for new projects or companies or anything else that might want to jump on board. But yeah, I mean, when we start talking about what bands law and the organization structure overall, obviously pre-sale and staking and everything else, that's great. And I know that I've said this multiple times that I kind of don't particularly like remaking the wheels, but in this case, I think we kind of need to, is in order to hook in the studio, I think you still have to have some of those basic ones that's kind of needed to start with. And we need to make sure that we have control and all that. But then I think when we start looking into some other areas of, workflows and different ways of adding contracts, and kind of like IPFS, I mean, when you think of NFTs, most of the time you kind of think of some type of media, typically art or images or something like that. But I think that's good, and I'm excited about Tokecore, and I think that we're going to be really well in it as well. But to me, I'm more excited about other ways that you could use that, kind of like the 1155 contract or 721, either one of those. You can specify like an IPFS URL in order to get like a media, but really it doesn't have to be a media. It can be any type of data that you want inside of that. And so the fact that you can update that, to me, that gives a lot of flexibility that you can potentially do with some type of orchestration between multiple contracts and then relying on that. But yeah, I mean, to me, I'm looking forward to being able to truly prove and show some of that. And again, I don't want to go into too many details on that one just yet. But I think on the Tokecore one, I think it's going to be the same thing on the pre-sale. We're going to be ensuring that, we're doing our own products and using it and ensuring so that once it's open to more the public for other people to potentially create their own, it'll be a little bit easier, because I'm sure anything like that, you can try to test as much as you want, but there's always those small weird idiosyncrasies that could happen that you overlooked or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I really think that you can prepare all you want, but it's only once you get into the, into the action of war that you actually see what plans work and what don't, which ones don't, and the anything that you can bring to make the end product better. I think you really have to experience it to be able to get there. So I'm really happy that we have Tokecore as a second project to be able to fine tune more and start to offer more different products in terms of the pre-sale and in terms of the NFTs, like you said, because right now NFTs, I would agree that, while the art stuff can be exciting, it's just a very small percentage of what can be accomplished with NFTs. And I think that we'll are going to see the market evolve towards having those, higher level use cases for NFTs, and I think that that's something that Tokor is going to be able to show the way in, and so I'm really excited about that. I know that you're getting along pretty fast in development for that. I don't know if you want to update people a little bit on what timelines to expect, what kind of stuff we can expect in the next few weeks.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to have at least in a demo within like 2 weeks or so, like that. And again, might go into 3 weeks from that. This kind of depends. The biggest one, we have the UI and we have most of the contract completed. We need to finish the UI for creating the NFT and the contract, and then uploading the IPFS, and then associating that IPFS to the NFT that is being created on that one. So again, that should be fairly straightforward, but there's some small areas in there that, we need to ensure that ownership is set up right, the metadata is accurate and whatnot. Obviously there's, I think the current one that we have, we're missing some of the expectations and some of the NFT metadata on that one. So we kind of need to come back and finish that up a little bit. But I think we should be able to start showing something here, like I said, within 2 weeks, where hopefully start getting some feedback. And then from there, should be able to have a better timeline on like how fast after that. But I think once we're at the point where we truly are offering it for a development environment or a staging environment, whichever one you want to consider, I think then that gets us pretty close to where, we're this fine tuning.
Yep.
And Marco, do you have any feedback on that one, or? So no, then you've been doing most of the UI on that portion.
No, not really. We are very close to get it done. So pretty excited to have it delivered to the community. So that's it.
Nice. I think that's what everybody wants to hear.
Yeah.
Definitely,
especially the Tokor community.
Well, and to me, that's the biggest thing too. Is, I mean, if you're doing a project to try to make some money, don't get me wrong. I think that's something that a lot of people hope for. But to me, if there's not some type of passion to what you're doing, it's just, it's kind of like that. I mean, you kind of have to hear the development and their voice and everything else. They're excited that they want to have their name on what they're building, and they want the community there and seeing it. And then from there, they want it to expand and evolve past that. So I think that's kind of at least for me, from my experience in development, that's probably been the biggest differentiation. Obviously, most of mine has been more on typical, mainly call centers and audio and video codecs and different things like that, and networking. But yeah, I mean, to me, either way, if they don't have that passion, it's just kind of a 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's hard to truly differentiate yourself if you're this a 9 to 5.
Yeah, totally.
Something else to add here is that we are very, community driven. So I make most of the changes on the user interface. I guide that. So guys, everyone listening, if you want a feature, if you want something else, maybe from another platform, you can just tag us and suggest that, and we will take it into account. Be free. Be happy of tagging us and asking us for something you want to be added on our platform.
Yeah, I definitely agree 100%. And if we could get some feedback, that'd be awesome too. Because again, it's when you only have 1 or 2 people that are seeing one thing that they like, it's very easy to overlook something. Not only that, I mean, obviously, the overall crypto is evolving very, very quickly. So it's very easy to be unaware of something out there. So yeah, if there's anything like that, and yeah, thank you, Marco, for bringing that up.
Yeah, definitely. We have to be able to rely on the community to bring us their feedback and their expectations for us to be able to have the best product out there. So that's an absolute definite. Also, I think something that I wanted to touch base on today with you and with the community is for Bambi. We are looking to roll out on the Binance Smart Chain. To be able to have a bridge to apply and to grow the community everywhere we can. How are we looking on that one for the next steps for Bambi?
I'm testing it now. It's kind of like I'd say a week or so, and we should have it in a testing environment on that. And then probably within 2 weeks, might be less. I mean, it's one of those things. It's fairly straightforward. It's just, I don't want to overlook something like that too. And I mean, we also need to ensure that there is liquidity when we move that across as well. So it's just some things like that I'm just trying to ensure that I'm not overlooking something.
Nice. So I think that that's very exciting to me. I think that we've already started to have a nice resonance in the Bryce community. But I do think that the Bryce blockchain is not as populated as obviously as the Binance Smart Chain is, and I do think that we will gain a lot of momentum from having Bambi Token being available on there, because I think that in terms of liquidity management, in terms of what we are intending to do in the future, I do think that Bambi is a very unique project, and I think that there's going to be good reception for us in the Binance Smart Chain and also in other chains, because I think ultimately it's a vision I have anyway for Bambi to have it be one of the meme tokens that's available on the most chains, to be able to get the largest and the widest community that we can, and then of course these people are going to always come back to the Launchcore, the Bandsclaw products, and I think that's how we're going to be able to build a larger community for everything that we do. Bambi being kind of the emblem of success that we can bring. So that to me is my vision anyway of it. And I think I'm really happy that, within a few weeks after launch, people are going to be seeing new things coming up. And so I think that's unique in itself too. I don't think that most projects out there, you wait for a couple of months before anything moves. And so I think that the community is going to be really happy to see us, bringing some action into their life with our little Bambi.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things too that it's not just Bambi that needs it, but I mean overall the plan that we're wanting, we're going to have ways of having cross communication, even if you're not bridging. Well, you usually would only need to have cross communication if you are bridging, but either way, it's one of those things that we are going to have a way of easily managing that and ensuring that we can properly do that in order to kind of hook into some of the stuff with the orchestration stuff that will be coming once we're done with NFT and or Core and some of the other ones. I think you might be muted, Alex, if you are talking.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot to click that button. Yeah. I mean, like we've talked about, we don't want to give too much details as to what their future plans are in terms of, Bandsclaw and so on and so forth. But can you elaborate a little bit for people what your vision is for Bandsclaw and how we're really bringing something different to the market and to people in terms of what we intend to do for infrastructures and so on and so forth?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think if if we're wanting to do, and I'm going to mainly just focus on more of the, like a startup studio on kind of what I would hopefully envision, because this kind of goes along with that. To me, if you're wanting to do that, obviously, yeah, it's great to have a token that you can create pre-sale and then hopefully get some liquidity to get you guys going started. But beyond that too, to me, they should have the option if they would want to where we can easily help manage their front end, as well as hooking in a back end service that you can do kind of log processing and different things, so that in case I need to know, who the holders are and different things like that, we've got a fairly good back end that, whether it's in ERC 20 and ERC 721 or 1155, we just kind of put in the contract ID itself to that, and then we can store that in a database. So there's a lot of ways that can help simplify in some scenarios. And again, you don't need that in all cases. I guess it depends on the project. But to me, ability to see and quickly locating, especially like if you're trying to help support somebody, it's great if you can find it in the Browse Explorer, and you should be able to find it there too. But a lot of times there could be faster queries and different things that could help speed up and expedite that. Along that same pathway too, at some point it would be nice if they had a way that could hook in some of the tickets that they're working for, and then that way, as the project is working on something kind of like us, and this one, we need to finish this. We started doing that like in the fall, and then we never finished it. So, and this is honestly going to be probably a lower priority until we get these other ones too. But to me, it would be nice as a community, if I'm wanting to be an invest on this project, it would be nice if I could easily see some of the updates and kind of how that progress is going, and different things like that. And then from there, if I'm wanting to create my contracts, what if I need to also hook in a proxy in order to get data from the real world, whether that's incoming or outgoing? So to me, it's things like that you should be able to hook that in as a way, without requiring a ton of expertise. Now, again, you're going to need to have some level of expertise, but I just think that some of the tools that are out there, a lot of it is about halfway there. But and again, I'm sure that there's other projects that are probably aiming for some of this too. But yeah, to me, it's just one of those that I think there's a lot you could do if you just had kind of a little way of hooking in connections, basically.
Nice. Cool. So I think we went pretty much over what we wanted to go over today. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to bring. Maybe if we get some questions from the community on the chat, or if anybody wants to speak up now. I know people are a little shy to go live and ask questions live, but you can go ahead and type them on the chat, and go ahead and answer them. So I don't know if anybody has anything that they want to say. Not seeing any hands raised. So, okay, so that's it. So we'll go over to the chat. If anybody has something to throw out there, any questions about, what we've talked about, where we're going with Bambi, so on and so forth, please just throw them out there, and we'll answer the best we can.
Yep, and thanks again for like I said, helping us along this, and certainly appreciative to everybody in the community.
Yep, cheers to that. So thank you, everyone, and you guys have a nice day. Cheers.
See you guys.
Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Yeah, see you, Marco.
Bye. See you guys.